Everyone wants to make their design more efficient, right? Of course. It's even the whole theme of this technical forum, beating the project clock. I have 3 tools here that can help achieve just that. The first one is nothing new. It is MTF Seed Files, an older feature, but what we're coming across is that not many people know about it. The second one is the new Quick Design, a brand new feature for version 15. And finally, we will look at MTF Recreate for designers. I'm Tim Brooks and I'm the training manager for 12D Model and also 12D Synergy. So let's take a look at these features. MTF Seed Files. Looking at MTF Seed Files first, as I mentioned, this is not a new feature, but one that not many seem to know about or at least utilize. Okay, I'm using version 15, but because this is an older feature, let's stay with the classic theme for this one. So up until version 14, up until and including version 14, there was no menu option to create an MTF seed file. You simply do it by renaming the file extension. However, for version 15, under the Design MTF menu, there is now a copy MTF to seed. So, how does MTF Seed Files work? Well, first of all, you create a normal MTF file. So, Design, MTF, Create. Okay. Now, in this project, I already have a number of Design MTF files, and I've already created some base MTF files to use as a seed file. You can see these down here. There, I've got the urban road, a rural road one, and a curb return one with curb and channel. Okay. So if we come and edit one of those MTF files, so let's go Design, MTF, Edit, and we just use the editor at the top here. And I'm going to pick one of those MTF files I've already created. Let's use the urban road MTF file. Now, you have to associate to a super alignment to edit it. Doesn't really matter which one, so I'm just going to pick this one down here. Accept. And then we can go edit. This will open up your MTF editor. So the idea here is you come in and you set these up with whatever you need for that application. So if it's a standard road, highway, curb return, could be a drain, anything you need, you put in there. And also anything you think you might need in that future design. So let's take a look at this one. Let's look at the modify left-hand side. So you can see in here, I've put a chainage alias at the top. And again, when you've created your final MTF, you could come and edit this to suit. Also then included, or you could include your standard road templates, or in this case, the snippet templates. Okay. Nice and easy. And then down the bottom, I've also included an area for future pavement design. Now, at the moment, these snippets are deactivated, but they're there when I need them for future use. Go okay on that. And of course, I've done the same thing on the right-hand side modifier. You could also come in and turn things on like the auto recalc, so it's on as a default. You could do things like under more, you could come and turn on, say, your super widening. So you could come here, you could activate the super. You could then come in back and actually apply some standard string names for the super and widening to apply to. Okay. You could also come in under settings and adjust these to suit whatever you like as well. When you're done with everything in your MTF file, you simply just come down the bottom, go across save and finish. All right. So now, to turn these into MTF seed files, in version 14 or previously, you simply open up a Windows Explorer. So to do this quickly, let's use the Explorer toolbar, and I'll open up an Explorer here to the working folder and come down and find those MTF files. Now, if you like, you can take a copy of it, just so you have the base as an original. And then all you have to do is rename that file. So we'll go rename here. I'll remove the copy off the end of this one. And then you come to the extension, and after MTF, simply add _ seed. Just like that. When you select enter, you're going to get the standard Windows warning, of course. Just hit yes on that one. And there you go, you've got your seed file to use. Now, in version 15, you simply just come up to the design menu, of course, come down to MTF and go copy MTF to seed. So we can put that there. We can now come and choose the other MTF files we want to convert to seed files. So let's do the rural road one. Now in this case, I want it named the same. So I'm just going to highlight rural road there. I'm going to go Control C for copy, and then Control V down here for paste, and then come down the bottom left-hand side of that panel and select write. Now that copies that MTF file and creates a seed file there. And of course we can do the other one. So if I come and grab the curve return one, select that. Once again, I'm just going to highlight that name and copy and paste it onto that bottom line there and select write. And I can finish that. And if I came down to my Windows Explorer, again, you can see now I have those 3 MTF seed files sitting in the working folder. And these can also be put into user folders for general usage as well. So these are just like templates now. So the next time you create an MTF file, you select the appropriate seed file you wish to use. So if we come and create an MTF file, we might do one for a road. Let's go design RS2B01. On the next line here, we pick the appropriate seed file. So I'm going to pick Urban Road MTF Seed, and I select the super alignment center line. So we come and pick that one there and accept, and then you can go create. And if you have a look at this MTF file now, you'll see it has everything that our seed file had as a base. So left and right hand side setup. You've got the super widening in there, and of course any other settings you may have produced. And now of course you just apply that into your apply menu function and they'll create your design strings. But that's version 9, and some of you are probably sitting there going, what do you mean, Tim? And I would say since version 10, I would actually use the MTF manager to create all my MTF files. Or this brings me to my next feature. Quick Design. So being a new version 15 feature, for the project I'll be using, it will be using the design theme. So you can find this feature in the classic and standard themes under the design menu, Design Quick Start, and Design Quick Tools. And in the design theme, it is under the road menu, Design Quick. Now Quick Start creates the MTF and apply function for the super alignments. Quick Tools edits the MTF. For example, removing strings through intersections. So Quick Design at the moment uses set MTF seed files to produce the design strings from. These are currently set by 12D. However, we are working towards processes where you will be able to define your own MTF seed files, something similar to the current MTF manager. So watch this space. The 12D seed files are currently set to utilize the snippets to define the template profiles. So you can just edit the snippets to suit. All right. To start with, you must have your super alignments in place, as you can see here. Now, besides the menu, you can use the toolbars. So using the Quick Start menu or the Design Quick Start toolbar, which is this one up here, we'll just bring that up. You can choose what type of design you wish to start with, depending on what your super alignment is for. So if we're going to do this road here, I could use the urban road option, or I could use the rural road option. So for this one, I'm going to use the urban road. So we're going to pick that button there, come down, select our super alignment and accept. And you can see it runs the design along that string. All right, if we come down to this roundabout, we can run the curb return options. And this roundabout was done using a component. So again, a nice quick way to do a design. So this one's the curb return option. Pick that, select your curb returns. So we'll just go around and do all 4 curb returns there. Just like that. And we also have traffic island options. So for the center island, there's 2 options here. I'm going to run the second option called center island. Pick that super alignment. And for normal traffic islands, it's just the first one there. We can just go around and pick those 4 traffic islands. You can see it just runs those design strings around them. There you go. You also have a channel option as well. Okay, it's that one there. Right, just going to tidy up my alignment view and remove all those design strings now. So it keeps it tidy. All right, now using the Quick Tools menu or the Design Quick Tools toolbar, we can edit the MTFs. So that's this toolbar here. Again, I'll just bring that up flat. So to start with, I could edit the start of the road to suit the curb returns up at the entrance here. Okay, so we pick the first button. Now note, selections are one at a time. Make sure you read the command line. And as I do this, note that I pick a design string, not a section. Strings have a direct link to the reference alignment and MTF, whereas sections do not. Okay, so let's do the left side first. Pick a string, and then I'll use my alignment view to pick the end of that super alignment. And then we'll come and do the same for the right side. Pick a string, and I'll pick the end of this super alignment. So that tidies it up. And likewise, this button here does the end. So if we come down to the end of that road now, and pick the end clean tool, pick a string, and I'm just going to pick a section here to define that one. And likewise with the right hand side of the road. Now, if you pick the start or end of another super alignment, it will use smart chainages. If you pick anywhere else, it will use an evaluated chainage. Okay, so we'll have smart chainages used at the start there and an evaluated chainage used at the end there. Let's come and trim the strings out through our intersections now. So let's do the roundabout first. And there are 2 options here. That's this button. If we click and hold, the second option here cleans all. So it removes all the design strings through an area picked. So again, pick a string. I'm going to use my alignment view to select the super alignment. So picking the start of this curve return and the end of this one. And it trims everything out. And we'll do the same for the right hand side. Pick a string. And we'll pick the start and ends of those curve returns. Okay. Now for normal intersections like this one here, you may want to leave one of your design strings. So that's just the first option. Pick that one. Again, just pick your design string, and then I'm going to use the start and end of these curve returns to define that intersection location. And there you go. Leaves one string. Now you can open the MTF editor, and the number for remove number of strings can be modified if one doesn't suit. So that is the trimming options. Now, using smart changes is a good idea, of course, because you may want to move something. For example, we may want to relocate this intersection. So I'm going to edit this super alignment here. And I'm going to change the offset from 8 to say 3. We'll go set and finish. And I'll save and finish that super alignment editor. Now, of course, I can just come and resolve the super alignments and recalc the functions for those MTFs, and it all updates. Or even better, you could put it in a chain, just like I've done here. So I'm just going to hit run on that. It'll just go through and resolve and recalc. So it all updates automatically because the smart changes have been used. And the center island. And there we go. All done. All right, you can also turn on the pavement design. So the last button on this toolbar or menu turns the pavements on. So if I pick that, select a string and accept, it'll run through, do a recalc and activate the pavement snippets. It uses the new pavement manager. I'll come to the 3D view now because the models have already turned on in here, and you can see what that looks like. Okay. Now while we're here, we could also say turn on this curve return. We could come and turn on the center island. And we'll also just do one of these traffic islands as well. Make sure you pick the strings, not sections. Okay, we zoom in, you can see those pavements turned on. And likewise, if you want to turn them off, this button here, just select that, come through, pick one of your design strings again, and again it'll just recalc and turn off your pavement snippets. Just like that. Okay, so if we take a look at the MTF editor for one of our roads, so let's go and edit this one. And we'll take a look at the left-hand side modifier. Okay, note that there are 3 entries required in your modifiers. The Quick Design requires this start comment created by Quick Design. It then also requires the chainage alias labeled either LHS or RHS extents, depending which side you're on. The third one it needs is the LHS or RHS pavements region. Okay, so Quick Design does a check to make sure that these are there. This safeguards your MTF file, but also allows you to use the Quick Design edits. And at the end, if you wish to continue on with a more detailed design, you can just edit the MTF as normal. Okay, last feature for me, MTF Recreate. The MTF Recreate tool was originally created for construction surveyors that received 12D model design strings for the design surface, but then were required to produce the subsurface grading for pavement themselves, but didn't have the actual MTF file. So this is reasonably difficult to do and requires duplicating the design. And if you want to see more on this, feel free to check out Peter Taten's presentation on pavement construction in the survey room. Let's go to our project. However, it also turns out that it's great for designers too. You can create the pavement design in a separate MTF file. Removing the pavement design from the actual design MTF can help make the processing of these MTFs a little more efficient instead of updating so much at once. So you have your design MTF. Let's take a look. We'll have a look at this one here. And we'll check out the left-hand side modifier. And there is plenty of items going on in here already. Okay? And they take time to recalc. So adding pavement to that will add more time on that as well. So while working on the design surface, you don't necessarily need to worry about the pavement at that time. So when ready, you could have the option to process it separately. Let's finish that one. The MTF Recreate is found under the Design menu, under Apply, Apply MTF Recreate. Right, this was a version 14 feature. I'm going to use the version 15 standard theme for this demo. Of course, it has the same menu as the classic theme. So in this panel, we come and pick the design model strings that you want to reproduce. You then select the reference string or the super alignment. We'll pick that. Come to my alignment view here. Pick the super alignment. You've got the option to choose a hinge string if necessary. You can set your chainage extents. For me, mostly you're going to cover the entire road, so I just make sure I cover that, although it will create its own extents in the background. And we'll give it a function name, so I'm going to call this one pave rs2 b01. And I want my MTF Recreate strings to be turned on in the pavement view. So let's put it there. And then you simply select the process button. There you go, process complete. So if I come to the pavement view now, there is my replicated design strings from the MTF Recreate. So let's come and open up the MTF editor for this one. We'll open up the left-hand side modifier. You can see it's created a chainage alias at the top with the extents of the strings. And then it's got this snippet. And this snippet reproduces those design strings basically by using insert absolute. Okay. And there is a heading there all ready for you to do your pavement design below. So when you're ready, you can come and insert the required pavement snippets. So we'll just come and pick pavement curbs. This is still using the old pavement manager, so I just got to enter my curb string names. Simple as that. Okay, go apply for the recalc. Okay, on that one. And we'll come to the section view and we'll add in our pavement models. There you go, pavement design done. Okay, so let's say we change the design. I'll just save and finish this MTF file. Let's come and do something simple like change the road width. So I'm just going to edit the template. And I'll change the road width here to 3.5 meters instead. Come back to the design and I'll recalc the design. it is, processing that. Now if I come to the payment view here and I add on the original design strings, just so you can see that difference. Using object tree, final strings, it's that road there. All right, you can see the curve return on the design is in closer than the Recreate. So to update your MTF Recreate, simply come back to the Apply MTF Recreate panel, and there is an Update MTF Snippets tab. So here, we simply go and pick the function that was created. So Pave RS2B01 in this case. And then select the Update Recalc button. And that'll go through and update your MTF Recreate strings to match the design. Simple as that. So there you go. 3 great tools to help make your design more efficient. You can let myself or Peter know if you have any questions in the Q&A session. Thank you.